Music is stupid. Every little thing is a holy text worth of rules and requirements and how you must approach it. We call these lovely concepts music theory. Theory here being a term synonymous with completely pointless and inconsequential, while also being obnoxiously complicated and soul-sucking and prone to cause decade-long debates over the most overly niche partitions of an overly niche subject. For example, key signatures aren't real. They only exist to make composers' lives easier. In creating the concept, however, they opened up a whole other can of worms. Your key signature represents two things: where your scale starts and how many sharps or flats the scale contains. Therefore, because there's never anything you can't do in music, every note will have a key signature. Notice that I said note instead of key. A keyboard is made up of 12 different keys of varying octaves, but a single octave contains 21 different notes. Now, how does this work? Well, of these 21 notes, only 12 have unique pitches, the keys on a keyboard. For example, although A sharp and B flat are placed in different parts of the staff, they are both placed in the same key, a half step above A and a half step below B. Now, if that didn't make sense to you, you're gonna hate this next part. Accidentals are not the only notes that share pitch. There are many natural notes that lack surrounding accidentals. But just because a note doesn't exist, doesn't mean a note doesn't exist. So C flat isn't a note on the keyboard, but you can still adjust C natural. It is a note after all. So if you lower C natural by a half step, you have a C flat, but it shares a pitch with B natural. As does the inverse, a B sharp is also a C. However, musicians will be quick to remind you that there is a difference, but we'll get to that. Now that we're done with that tangent, because that whole thing was a tangent, we can explore how this affects the key signature. All major key signatures follow the same pattern of notes with a single rule. Every note must contain a different letter. I couldn't tell you why this is the pattern, but it sounds good, so I don't really care. The letter rule actually does impact the key signature quite a lot. B and C flat may share a pitch, but despite that, the key of B major has 5 sharps, and the key of C flat major, which has the same notes, has 7 flats, which can be depicted by this lovely image. Did you know? It gets worse. Because of course it does. So, if every note has a key signature, then some keys have what we call
cardinal sins,
also known as the double sharp and double flats. For example, let's take a look at E sharp major. So the key of E sharp major contains 11 sharps, but the problem is that there are only 7 notes in a scale. So, and I kid you not, some accidentals double up. In the key of E sharp major, there are 4 double sharps: F, C, G, and D. Now, what is a D double sharp? Why, an E natural, of course. Now, again, nothing is impossible in music. By naming one thing, you have to name another, even if no one will ever use it. So if a specific niche key signature calls for a double sharp, that acknowledges that the double sharp is, in fact, a note. And if every note has a key signature, then this note must also have a key signature, which will call for an interval is the distance from one note to another. They're pretty simple. Yeah, right. So the size of an interval is based on the letter of the note, not by the actual distance. How much of a difference does this make? A lot. As we covered before, different notes share pitches. In the same vein, intervals share pitches as well. A third up from a C natural is an E, but we can alter this interval to make it a larger jump. Keep in mind that E sharp is not a key on the keyboard. It shares a pitch with F natural, which means that this is a third and this is a fourth. But it doesn't stop there, because a C to an E flat, double sharp, or double flat are all also thirds. Meaning, this is a third, 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 and this is a fourth.